Bigger talks. Back again in another episode. And today, I'm so grateful. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about love. More importantly, self-love. But the layers beneath that and the extensions of that from my paradigm is going to be betrayal, heartbreak, communication, fear, healing, authenticity, vulnerability, and just all the things that I've experienced in my lifetime, from what I've been through, from what I've seen and experienced, until how I see the world in a compass of love and what love does to people and how we see it. So before we get into the episode, shouts out to Simplify Impact. They're always making an impact via social media, YouTube, podcast world, SEO. They're the best in the business. Check them out. I'll drop their details in the show notes. Simplify Impact, marketing agency and experts to take your content, your videos to a whole nother level. More value, more visibility. They're the best. And it's miracle season. It's miracleseason.co. Go to the website, get your shirt, get your hat, get your mug, represent. You are a miracle. Miracle season is a vibration, a vibranium, a healing frequency, and it's more than just a brand. It's a miracle metamorphosis transformation for you and everyone that will get their merch. So go to the website now. It's miracleseason.co and get you some merch and represent and heal, evolve, and be. All right. Let's get into it. So before we get into the actual body of the episode, I want to preface it with a story of a meme. So I had a buddy of mine send me a DM the other day, and you know how they got those threads on Twitter, and the thread read, what's worse than heartbreak? And someone replied and said, being broke. And so then he sent it to me, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if being broke is worse than heartbreak. So I was asking him a question. I said, have you been heartbroken before? He was like, no. I was like, man. Woo! Baby, it's not a game. It hurts. It's severe. It doesn't make sense. But then he was asking me, he's like, have you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, been broke? I was like, yeah, I've been in LA 13 years. Like, I didn't always have money in my time. Came here at 22. I've been here 13 years. So yeah, I've struggled as an adult, trying to figure it out, pay bills and find a job, find employment. I experienced that, but I also experienced heartbreak. When the love is great, the love is great. But when you broken, it's tough. It's, you feel low, you feel sad, you feel off, you feel somewhat depressed. It just don't make sense. You just feel disconnected from self. But my feedback to him was like, to be honest, I think in my lifetime, I can't speak for others because some people never had heart broken before or never been broke. I believe heartbreak, everyone should experience it if they can, because what you get after it is so much greater than a break. Like, yeah, your heart is broken, you feel off, you feel hurt, but you get so much more power and so much wisdom and so much substance and so much vitality of just, you're more wise and you're more stronger and you're more whole because of the breaking, like you just level up in a different way. I can't explain it. And then being broke, it just, all these things I think are not bad. I think society has made these things bad because it puts such a strong negative connotation on it. But people, listen, don't be afraid of heartbreak and don't be afraid of being broke, because in order to have a breakthrough, you got to be broken down. Sometimes you got to be broke, but sometimes you got to be heartbroken. It's not the end of the world. It's just a phase in your life. It's a moment in your life to get you to the other side of where you want to go. And it's also part of some people's ascension, part of their growth. Some of us get in relationships where we're triggered, and then we get into a dark night of the soul and a spiritual awakening, and it wakes up our real self and our true self. So it's not all bad. I just think people are putting, energy on something they never experienced because of what the world tells them until they get in it. So people, it's okay. I think Stephen Bartlett from podcast CEO Diary, I think it's his podcast. It talks about he believed everybody should experience heartbreak. I believe so too. But that's another story. All right, so let's get into the episode. So of lately, prior to the last 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, you'll be getting a lot of DMs, a lot of conversations surrounding love, self-love, fear. We also moving into this lunar eclipse in Libra. So to people, my astrology people, it's an intense eclipse. I think the last time we had this was the end of October 2023. And oh baby, that was tough for me. That's when all the brokenness happened. And you had to get rid of some folks, get rid of some people, some relationships, some loved ones, maybe some friends that were dear to you. And I think this time around, in this month of March, going into April, that's what's coming up next for all of us. We got to get real with ourselves, got to step into our power and not tolerate what we tolerated before from people who don't respect boundaries, who don't love us the way we need to be loved, or some people who just can't go along the journey of where we're going. So some of you listening probably already in the midst of it. You're probably going through it. You're probably trying to figure out how to get out of it or how to handle this. Or some of you might meet a new partner or a new situation or a new opportunity to embrace love and joy and abundance from someone. But this is really about leveling up and really putting yourself first and setting your boundaries. And some people you got to let go, and some people, and I think the hardest thing is people don't know how to let go of people they love dearly or people they spent so much time with. And I get it. I've been there. I believe after my cacao ceremony in Joshua Tree, the cacao was for your heart space. It opened up my heart to really see the depths of love and how love is used in society to control us, to manipulate us, to stimulate fear in us from a marketing standpoint, from a visual standpoint. I don't think love is as hard as we make it, but we make it hard because of all the negative stuff we think about. It's like someone going to the gym. They think about all the hard things they can't do that they have to do. They haven't even walked in the gym yet. It's like, no, we're not doing that in this workout. This is your first day. I'm not going to make you go do 1,000 burpees and run sprints. No, we're going to take it easy. We're going to baby step our way into the process of you getting fit. And I think the reason I say, I believe, and I know from my perspective, I can't speak for others, that love is simple, because love is nothing but a reflection of how you love yourself, right? How you love yourself, the love you saw growing up, your blueprint, your perspective, your paradigm, your perception of love, right? How you was loved as a child. And all of us had different experiences growing up. But I do believe, some of us, including me, speaking of me, I had to get over a lot of fear and trauma about being loved and loving people, and a lot of people love me because of the abandonment wound that I suffered as a kid and not being loved the way I thought I should be, and not letting people in because I'm afraid I'm gonna get hurt. And I was like, how are they gonna hurt you? It's like creating this wall because we just don't know, because we don't have the information, we don't have the tools, we don't have the awareness around it, right? The way I think love is simple is the more you love yourself, the more it's easy for others to love you. I believe if I'm setting my boundaries, I'm loving myself, I'm disciplined with myself, I'm making promise to myself, I'm consistent with, I'm not putting myself last in situations. I know that's hard because I've done that for years. I was a people pleaser. So I know it's not easy because some of your parents and, you got to do what you got to do. However, if we do all these things, putting yourself first, loving yourself, taking care of you, self-preservation is the law of the land, right? I don't think being in a relationship would be hard to receive love. Now, when you get in a relationship, I don't think a relationship is just about love. I think it's about communication. I think it's about understanding. I think it's about alignment. I think it's about relatability, vulnerability, authenticity, transparency. There's so many layers to a relationship that we always make love the number one thing, because I was in a relationship and I had all the love, but I wasn't happy. Right? I wasn't happy. So I know love don't make me happy if I'm just getting love in a relationship. I need multiple things. I think we all do. I love love. I'm a lover. I became the love I wanted that I didn't get as a child. A lot of the things that happen in relationships are a reflection of ourselves and what we've been through and what we believe and what we watch on TV or what our mom and dad went through or what our aunts, uncles, and cousins said. Because in my understanding, I know people who've been in relationships for years, but they don't have the awareness I have in a relationship, because I've done so much work on myself. I've spent so much time by myself. And I believe, and you can quote me or you can challenge me on this, I believe the best healing that you can get in life is when you're in a relationship with yourself before anyone else. Because when you're in a relationship and you're trying to heal, it's not that it's not possible, because anything's possible. However, you still have the other person's energy on you to reflect or deflect what you need to be doing or not doing. And I think the only way to have a real strong relationship with another person or partner, you got to have a strong foundation in relationship with self. I think relationships don't last and don't go further because we've been programmed, all of us, not to know ourselves, our most authentic self, our true self, this self we hide from people, our shadow self, the side that you don't want no one to know about. We hide all that from ourselves. So if I'm going into a relationship and I say, oh, I love myself, I love the other, but I'm not exposing my dark side to myself nor my partner, that relationship at some point is going to fall off, or going to be shaky, or it's going to be some pockets in there. That's just what it is. I feel like when you're not leaving nothing off the table, it's easy to love and stand in your power. However, we're so afraid for someone to reject us, to leave us, to abandon us, right? That was my fear for years. So I would open up my heart space because, like, oh, no one abandoned me. I'm going to just control this and be with no one. I think a lot of that comes from, like I said, our perceptions around love, what we've been through. And like I said, people who are in relationships, have been in relationships a long time, they don't have that much awareness of self because they've been so connected with their partner. So they started becoming their partner. And then you're like, when I was in my situation, I realized, like, oh, these are not even my thoughts. This is not even my energy. Like, I don't even think like this. But I was so in union with the individual that, you know what I mean? Like, we was like peanut butter and jelly. And I thought, like, this was my sandwich too. But no, it really wasn't true. Once I got out of my situation and started realizing it's not who I am. I betrayed myself. That's basically what happened. I betrayed myself to make somebody else happy. Or I betrayed parts of me because I didn't want a person to see that part of me because I'm afraid they didn't like me. And all this unconscious fear and scarcity from the abandonment wound and all the fears and all the ideologies and perceptions and connotations I'm putting on things because I don't want what to happen. I don't want to get hurt. Like, it's like eventually you're going to get hurt anyway. So I think self-love is why love should be simple and love shouldn't be hard. If we love ourselves the best way we know how, I don't think it's going to be hard for another person to love you. Now, if you're not communicating, because I got a poll from some people, I'll share with this later on Instagram, but some people I was talking to earlier, they were saying the reason love and relationships are hard and they are challenging is because the way the economy is shaping up today. Like, people having problems and challenges with their finances, and, that takes energy out of you, and, stress to pay the bills. And so you don't even have the time and space to hold space and grace for someone else because you're busy trying to stay afloat and survive and make rent and pay your bills and have health insurance, all the things that some of us might be experiencing right now. So therefore, your relationship can't thrive. And I think when I was in my situation, I wasn't happy in life. So, of course, my relationship can only hopefully amplify me, but it didn't in a way because I wasn't happy. So it doesn't matter if a person was loving me. If I wasn't in the space I need to be for me, it wouldn't work, So the real relationship that we must have is a relationship with ourselves. Good parts of ourselves, the bad parts of ourselves, the parts we hide from ourselves and others. Because once you can marry yourself and be in a relationship with self, you can maneuver or kind of hold space in a situation with someone else because you know yourself. You understand who you are. You know how you show up. You know what you don't like. You know what you do like. Not saying that you can't change parts of yourself for someone to come into your life, or you can't have an open perspective. But when you have a strong foundation with yourself, it's like, come on. Like, I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what I'm condoning. I know what I'm not condoning. And I'm not hiding parts of myself or betraying myself to make another happy because of love. And I think that's what we do. We're so afraid to miss out on the love that we'll do anything to keep it, but we're not being our real self. So therefore, we lose it anyway. So you could be in a relationship for 5 years, and on the 8th year, you lose it because you hid all parts of you because of fear. When you're not in a relationship coming from a loving space, it don't last long. When you're coming from fear and scarcity, what a person is going to think, no matter how much you love them and you tell them and you show them, if you're still coming from that fear paradigm, it's not going to work. It's like me loving someone because of, I'm a people pleaser and I don't want to tell them no, and I don't want to set strong boundaries, and I don't want to disappoint them. Eventually, I'm going to build resentment. I'm going to hate the person or feel negative towards them because it's something I didn't do. It's nothing they did. It's something I didn't do. I didn't speak my truth. I wasn't in the truth of who I needed to be because of fear. Can't live like that. All right. So heartbreak is real. I've experienced it. I'm pretty sure some of you have experienced it, but it doesn't mean we should not love and give all our love, because at the end of the day, when you have opportunity to have someone come into your life, when you have the opportunity to receive love, And if you're open and you're honest enough with yourself, I think you should go ahead and take a chance. But when you're kind of just on eggshells your whole life and you're so afraid, I just feel like you're never going to get where you want to go in life. Forget a relationship. Like, you just can't play it safe. There's a book called Playing It Safe is the New Risk, right? When you play it safe, that's a risk, right? I don't play it safe. Jump in the deep end. But make sure you love it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. And don't let fear creep in. Let's move into betrayal. Now, betrayal in a relationship, a friendship, partnership, business, betrayal is a different type of heartbreak. Because, there's heartbreak in a romantic relationship, there's heartbreak in friendship, and there's heartbreak in betrayal, where someone you trusted with your whole life, whether it was a family member, a friend for years, a business partner, and they just betray you. That hurts. Honestly, I think that hurts more than a relationship heartbreak, to be honest, because it's like, it just hurts, man. It's like, damn, man, I can't trust again, or who can I trust? However, I believe all these things are set up and lined up for you to evolve, for you to enhance and build and develop your character, for you to grow into the individual you need to be in this lifetime. If we allow ourselves to continue to skip steps because of fear, to continue to skip steps because we don't want to get hurt again or betrayal, like, we're never going to blossom into our full potential. I believe I'm here to live my full potential. I'm not letting nothing stop. I'm not letting heartbreak, fear, betrayal, what someone think or feel. It's miracle season. We're going to get it. Because why not? I'm not living to be in fear for what? You did that long enough. Growing up in a tough environment, right? Or unsafe environment, So you got to be comfortable in your relationship. A lot of us are not safe in our relationships because we're not safe in a relationship we have with ourselves. We're not safe in our own bodies with ourselves. So how can you completely be safe with another person? And then some of us take on the pain and the grief from past relationships. So when you get in a new relationship, you can't even fully be in that because you're still bringing all this baggage and all this energy from the past because you haven't healed. You're so afraid to be alone, to do the work on yourself so you can grow. You jump right back into a new relationship. No wonder it's not working. Don't work like that. You got to heal. You can't just keep hopping from relationships. It don't work like that. And if it does, maybe it does for you, but I don't believe because it's still energy that you still have on you from past things. And some things take time. But yeah, betrayal is real. I think the biggest betrayal is the betrayal of yourself. I've done that. And that hurts. And I've been in spaces where I've been in the bathroom on the floor crying because I'm so upset with myself. Like, why did I let myself down? Why did I disappoint myself? Why did I not complete my promises? What is that about? Because I was afraid to be who I needed to be, because I was going to disappoint someone or make a person not feel what they used to feel. And it's like, nah, they need to feel that side of you too. You're human. You're not perfect, right? Like, we got to stop striving for perfection. We need to strive for authenticity. Be authentic. And look, if the person you love can't handle your truth or your other side, your shadow side, they don't belong in your life. That's just what it is. That's what I believe. And look, I'm all for unconditional love, but I'm not for unconditional tolerance. I'm not tolerating everything just because I love you. There's people that I love dearly, family and friends. Certain things I'm not tolerating. I'm removing myself. You deal with that. I'm not dealing with that. So there's a quote that says, we get what we tolerate. And if you tolerate misbehavior, if you tolerate disrespect, if you tolerate someone just constantly running the same pattern and they're telling you they're going to change, then that's on you. It's not on them because you're tolerating it. So we got to get out of that space. So we spoke on heartbreak, betrayal. I spoke a little bit on like knowing yourself. I think that's the most ultimate thing that you should have in any relationship. Like, first of all, why am I in this relationship? What is it really for? What is it really about? Because some of us get in relationships because of attention, even you're getting a lot of it from a person or lack thereof. Some of us are in relationships because of sex, because of lust and not love. The lust is so strong that it overpowers the love that you just jump in a relationship. Some of us get in relationships because we're afraid to be alone, fear. We're afraid to be alone. So we get in a relationship because we don't want to be by ourselves. So now we come into a relationship like for the wrong reason. Some of us get into it because of money or status. Let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. You're only dating that person because they got some money or, they give you some good loving. You don't really like them. You just like how they make you feel. You just like what they do for you. But If it came down to it, you wouldn't really be with that person if they didn't have those things. So that's another thing. We manipulate ourselves to justify why we do things with people when we don't really like them or we're not really into them like that. So we gotta really be clear. Get real clear with yourself. Have a single mind on what you want from the situation and why are you in it. And some of us are lonely for too long and it's like, forget it, I might as well jump in, right? But listen, people, at the end of the day, you gotta live your life and you gotta do what's best for you. But at the same time, make sure you're not hurting people by manipulating them. Some of you and some of us, we're good at love bombing. Love. We're good at love bomb. We're going to love bomb the mess out of someone. Get over here. And then they get us, then we want to control them. So we just got to be aware of all our blind spots, awareness around our triggers, awareness around our fears, awareness around insecurities. Because insecurities can really stop a relationship. Trust me, it can stop a relationship on both parts. So if you got some insecurities, it's okay. It's not a bad thing. You got to be real with yourself, though. You got insecurity. There's certain people you're not supposed to be dating then. It's just what it is. They say if it's too hot, get out the kitchen. You can't hang. It's not that they did anything wrong. You're just not ready for that type of energy. So if your partner has the opposite sex around them all the time and you can't deal with it, that's on you. That's not on them. If this is their profession, their business, is how they live their life, if it's for the greater good of what they're doing. So don't set yourself up for failure trying to be like you can handle it. And some of us need therapy. You need to go to therapy. You need to do the work. You need to work on yourself. Because after some time, it's like you keep making the same mistakes in a relationship. It's like, of course, the person's going to want to leave and exit, right? So all I'm saying here is the more we know ourselves, the more we love ourselves, the more we speak our authentic truth, and the more we're not afraid of what our truth does to others, then we're going to have a secure relationship. If not in that one, you're going to attract someone who can vibrate at that frequency or understand that. We don't want nobody perfect. I don't want nobody perfect, I want somebody who's been through a little bit to kind of know, like, okay, you can relate. We can have a real conversation. We can unpack all of this and not be triggered and be, afraid of the worst thing happening because I love you, you love me. But I'm not trying to hold anything back to make you like me. And so for 6 months, I'm not going to really tell her what's really going on because I want her to stay with me. It's like, that's not real, man. Come on, stop that. You got to stop wasting each other's time and energy. However, every relationship is for growth, right? For you to grow. And some people are not willing to grow. Some people stop growing. Some people act like they want to grow, but they don't want to grow. Because honestly, growing is too uncomfortable. Trust me, I know. And there's those who's willing to do the work, and there's others who speak it but won't do it. Because it's too uncomfortable. And I'm not mad at them. I'm just not dealing with someone. If we're committed to doing something to better the situation and you're not doing it, then it's over with. But yeah, heartbreak is real. Betrayal happens. I also think it's how you respond to it. Like, right? How do you respond to a breakup or heartbreak? I was in the gym twice a day, constantly praying, working out, putting on good music. Like, you got to really build yourself back up, really. But you get so much strength from it that you get no awareness that you just like, okay, I needed that. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Tighten you up. You got tightened up. Relationship tighten you up. And then, like I said, there's people who are afraid to leave a relationship because they've never been alone. And it's like, that's even scary. You've been in a relationship so much, you're so afraid of being alone, like, But everybody's different. I respect everyone's perspective and paradigm. I just know from my experience, I'm going to feel how I feel, and I'm going to embrace it in every capacity. No one's perfect. I definitely wasn't perfect in any of my situations, but I'm willing to own all my mishappenings. I just think we just got to be real as individuals. Just, like someone has said something to me earlier today, and they called me out, and I called them. I'm like, yo, don't ever send me a DM. If you have a problem, call me. We had a real conversation. And I'm like, yeah, there we go. That's the person I want. I don't want the fake person not telling me how they feel. We had a beautiful conversation for an hour. So, yeah, I want that type of people in my life. Give me the truth. Don't spare me. But I want to get to these IG questions. Let's see. So, I put it on my poll today, and I spoke on, let me know what should I talk about in this episode about self-love, betrayal, heartbreak, communication. As many people say, lack of communication. I do believe lack of communication can ruin a relationship because we're not putting everything on the table. We're hiding things from our partner, because of fear. So there's one question, or my response was, is it better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all? People think it's inevitable. inevitable. Hopefully I said that right. My response to this, response is that, is it better to have love and loss than to not have? I feel like it's better to love. Because I don't think it's better to not love. Then it's like, why are you with the person? Just for the fun of it? I believe it's always better to give your all. Because when giving your all and leaving it all on the table, you can learn the most. But when you're half-tailing it and you're halfway in a relationship, you're like 65, 70% in or 82% in, you ain't giving your full self, you can never have a real relationship. It's never going to go far. So I believe, love. Yeah, love hard, and if you lose it, you're going to learn from it. But I feel like you can't learn anything from not loving a person, because then it's like you sidestepping a relationship. So you don't even know what's going on. You just think you do because you're not all in. It's like, I'm going to somewhat pay my rent. So you're going to somewhat live in your apartment or your house? That don't make sense. I believe in going all in, but this was a great response. Then someone said, the healing power of acceptance and accountability when your spouse leaves you. Now, let me speak on this. I can't relate to a spouse leaving me because I haven't been in a situation where I've been married, had someone be with me and then leave me. However, what I will say is, and it might be tough, it might sound bad, maybe your spouse was supposed to leave you because maybe there's parts of yourself that you need to work on or grow through for your benefit, or maybe that person wasn't fulfilling you or adding value to the relationship or your life, and it was taken from you, and you're becoming mentally and physically weak and damaged because of it. So I don't want to say spouse leaving you is bad, but I believe in radical acceptance. Accept all of the relationship. And I think when we release ourselves from relationships, we always think about all the bad stuff. Don't forget about the good stuff, because every relationship has great parts. So don't forget about that, because the relationship didn't end up the way you wanted it, right? So the healing power of acceptance. Yeah, so taking accountability, accepting what went wrong, what didn't, what was your part in it? Because it takes two. It's never one person. It takes two people to make a decision in a relationship for it to be a breakup or whatever. Like, it takes two. So everyone plays a part, whether they say it or not. And I just think, like I said, taking full responsibility. Why did your spouse leave you? Or did you want them to leave unconsciously? And that's the energy you pushed out and you projected it and they felt it and they left. Like, there's so many things there, right? And then another response was crying and anger are part of the healing process, but don't let that consume you. Yes, listen, people, be angry, cry, please cry and be angry when you're separated from someone you was in a deep, intimate relationship with, because that is real emotions coming up. You got to let it out. You can't just hold on and act like it didn't matter. It mattered. Cry. You hurt. It's okay. I've cried many nights. Hurt. I got it out of my system. And I will add, please, people, no one's perfect. Anything that's ever happened in a relationship is because this what this person was at in their paradigm, and this is what you attracted in your lifetime. So you got to just be as responsible. If it was really bad and toxic, you attracted this. Something in your body, your energetic field attracted this relationship. And then I get there's people who've been in relationships and their partner has not grown over the years, and you did. All right, I'm sorry. Y'all got kids and everything, but you got to move on. That's life. Don't get attached, right? So, but I think the biggest key in all of it, full responsibility helps you have a better understanding of what went on, what didn't go on for you to move forward, but also forgiveness. We must forgive in all of our relationships, our friendships, our business partnerships, our romantic relationships from the past that we didn't forgive or heal from, because we still go in these other relationships not healed from the past situation. We got to practice forgiveness. And some people are like, no, this person did me dirty. And it's like, okay, all right. But you was part of that. You tolerated it, or somewhere you accepted, or you wasn't bold enough or strong enough or didn't feel worthy enough to put your foot down or set your boundaries. So guess what? You got to be responsible just as much as they have to be responsible. So forgiveness, you got to forgive people, because if you don't forgive, that energy will creep and stay on you, and you'll be living out of that energy. You'll be living out in your life. And this person is over there having a ball. They don't care, but you do, because you haven't forgive. So forgiveness is also more for you than them, to get their energy off of you. So forgiveness, people, definitely Love someone. If you lose them, at least you know you love them. And that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. You at least know that you love them and you gave them everything you got. Well, maybe you did, but at least you tried. And that's all we can ask, right? Yeah, just don't let it, like the person said, acceptance and accountability. And then the other one was saying anger and crying. Just don't let it consume you. Yeah, like don't let your past relationship be your life. I had a friend, she just got out of a situation, and I'm like, it was like 8 months ago, and she's still like, it's not over it. And I'm like, damn, like, no knock on her timing, right? Don't have to be fast. But I'm like, you still living in the past. Oh, I get it, but it's 8 months. Why? And then I was asking the question, what is it? I said, oh, you're not over him. That's what it is. It don't got nothing to do with the other girl. It's him. You haven't got over them feelings. You haven't. She was like, yeah, because I didn't get closure. I said, that's ego. Your ego hasn't left that part of the relationship because you didn't get closure. That's your problem. You're in your ego. That's your ego mind controlling you. And now your ego has had you in this damaging space for 8 months because of your ego, because you didn't get closure. And I get it. I love closure. Sometimes you're not going to get it. And I've been in a situation where I didn't get closure and it hurt. And I just forgave the person. It's like, it is what it is. So we got to be willing to grow. We have to be willing to learn. We have to be willing to take and accept responsibility for our mishaps, for our mistakes, for what we did and didn't do. And we got to continue to love ourselves more and effectively communicate to all people, family, friends, potential partners, people you're dating, set boundaries and love. And fellas, I think, and I could be wrong, but I believe fellas, I believe we're so afraid to get hurt, and we're so afraid of heartbreak, and we're so afraid to dive into our feminine and, be vulnerable with a woman. I get it. But bro, at some point, you got to let somebody in if you want to grow as a man, because I feel like a woman is only going to grow you if she hurts you, I believe. And look, me being on all these dating shows over the years, I've learned so much about people and dating. I'm like, people don't really be deeply in love the way I think they do, because I know they don't know themselves enough. Maybe they're loving at that space, and trauma bonding is real. That's the thing too. We do a lot of trauma bonding in life. A lot of us, right? There's trauma bonding. So there's no knock to any relationship. There's no knock to any level of love. The main thing is, in order to have the love you yearn and you want, you got to love yourself first. You have to be in a relationship with yourself first. You have to get to the nit and gritty of yourself first. You have to be intimate with your shadow side. You have to be intimate with your real self, not the self you project or portray so people can like you or love you. It's not real. And, to all the attractive people out there, listen, be careful, because sometimes, or most times I say, most people only love you from your flesh, for your flesh, what you look like, your aesthetic, like how you show up. They're not loving you from the internal space, your real space, your spiritual soul level. So they don't have to, because you just give them what they want because of what they see. And it's like, no, that's not even real you. That's part of you. So that's all. That's it. This was another Bigger Talks episode. I pray and trust this episode reach millions and millions of people. And if you like this episode, share, subscribe, and hit me up on Instagram at Eric Bigger. DM me, follow me, follow the Bigger Talks podcast on Instagram. And shouts out to Simplify Impact. Get your Miracle Season merch at itsmiracleseason.co. Love yourself, people. All heartbreak and all betrayal is not bad. I believe it's for the greater good of not only yourself, but your soul's purpose. And let's grow together. Let's not be in fear. Let's get to know ourselves on a deeper level. And let's just be authentic beings. And I think the world will be a better place. And let's effectively communicate. Speak your truth. All right? Or forever hold your peace. I'm out. Bigger Talks podcast. Peace and love.